Hello there, and welcome to the Superhero Hub. This is up for review. I'm Sam,
On that
and today, what's up for review?
Legends of Tomorrow.
And this episode was called.
I have no idea.
Damn it, me neither.
The one with George Lucas.
Yeah, rest assured, we'll put it in the title of the video. So, I'll tell you, like, one thing that I was wondering all through the episode, like, you had George Lucas in it. Do you think they have to go to George Lucas and be like, look, we're doing an episode where it's like a young version of you?
No,
Can we do that?
no,
Do you don't not think that they have to like ask permission?
I don't think so.
Oh, because that was bothering me for all the episode. I was thinking to myself, do you think they actually have to call George Lucas and be like, look, we're doing a younger version of you, like affecting the timeline, blah blah blah. Is it okay if we do that? But I figure it'd just be like too busy to be like, oh yeah, whatever. So anyway,
I mean,
we'll get into it. I mean, what DC Legends of Tomorrow is a pretty consistent show, and one good thing about it is that it's consistent. That's a good point. So anyway, like this George Lucas stuff, like I like it for the fact that it was kind of effects on the time stream. They're going about there messing with time, and I thought it was good that like normally if something happens, all of a sudden the whole of history has changed, blah blah blah. But I think it was nice. It was more intimate that like that they scared George Lucas off earlier at the film set, and then it just kind of affects Nate and Ray Palmer. I thought that was pretty interesting. That instead of like it affecting the whole team in history, it only affected like two people. So I thought that was good. I liked Malcolm Merlin. I'm still not hot on Damien Dark. You know what I mean? But I think is not so bad. He's better in this than he was in Arrow. And I've kind of one thing as another thing as well, if sticking to like time screen, is like Malcolm Merlin. He rolls into like the police station and he just stabs that police officer like real cool and calm and walks off. It's like because like earlier they said that. Do you know the two people they took off the bikes? There's two
yeah,
people on bikes and then they stab them, and it's like, oh yeah, one of the people that like the legends when they're in the Wave Rider, it says that one of the people they stabbed ends up like developing a super carburetor for like shovel-headed motorbikes, and I was like, they're just whipping around and that, just killing people willy-nilly, and I'm just like, shouldn't that have like should they really be doing that, because isn't that going to have an effect on timeline? Yeah,
well,
I
they're
know.
bad guys, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I know, but that's like iffy. That is because if like if the legends do something like that, all of a sudden the whole of history is damaged. But if
Well,
like
yeah, they're affecting George Lucas, not some random bloke.
yeah, but like
Well, there you go.
they're still. I mean, they're strong on some things and they're kind of lax on the other.
Yeah, but
Uh,
more the fact that it's more some people are more important than others.
okay, that's a fine point. So I mean, if we move away, if we kind of, I thought Malcolm and Malcolm and Damien Dart were cool. I kind of like their thing going on. I'm warming more to Damien Dart now he's in this and as he was in Arrow. Eobard Thorne I think is just sick. I'm a real fan of him, but I like him regardless. But I liked him more in this. What did you think?
What of the Legion of Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're okay. I suppose I think Damien works better in a group than he does being the focus. Um, Malcolm, we're used to him. It does seem to be that the Reverse Flash is infinitely more powerful than the two of them. I know we've seen um, Damien Dark be some super powerful sorcerer dude, but ultimately, I sit there and think they look kind of like his cronies, really.
Yeah, it's like I think that like main thing, underlying thing is that he is using them. Eobard Thorne is using them because I mean you got to look at it that he's smarter as well. He's more calculated because like is the kind of guy as who's like gone back in time in the Flash. All his dealings in the Flash is like he's a very calculated guy. Now Malcolm's pretty smart. I think Damien Dart's pretty smart, but he's like next level, you know what I mean? So he can, because I mean, if you're getting into bed with people like Malcolm Merlin and Damien Dark, you can't go in there like naive and thinking you got things under control when really you don't. So I mean, I think he is like a step above, and you have to be. It's like when Lex Luthor leads the Legion of Doom, he's got to be that like step above to keep people like Sinestro in line and like other characters like that. So I think in terms of their kind of end, like with the Spear of Destiny, is like I'm intrigued how the Legends are actually going to stop them. I mean, Malcolm Merlin and Damien Dark, yeah, it shouldn't be so hard, but I mean, how are they going to stop Eobard Thawne?
I don't know. I've no, but I'm happy to go on the ride and see it. I think this episode was fun. I had a really good time. I thought it was very funny. I haven't watched much of the show. I've watched most of the first season and a couple of episodes of this season. I think it's found its rhythm though.
Yeah.
I think the team dynamic is as good as I've ever seen.
I'll tell you what's good about it as well, like keeping on with that kind of trend. It's like this Nate Haywood guy and the Vixen girl. Like they've only popped up this season, but like what they do was really good. It's like every episode is good. There's not like a apparently like bad episode, and what it is like you can bring characters into the show and it kind of works really well. Like the dynamics are always good. They're always like quick. Like they kind of build it up, character develop, and then all of a sudden everyone's like cool. There's never like you sit there and think, oh, the chemistry's off a bit here. What's good is that their chemistry is always like bang on, and you've got to look at it. Is that there's not really any like romantic relationships in the program, and I think that's what works well because they're always so busy doing this and that they don't have time for it. And it's like that's what works well with the show. It's like if you look at that and compare it to other shows, it's like if every show kind of worked like that, obviously it can't, you know what I mean? Because you got Iris and Barry Allen, like their relationships like a pivotal thing. But I mean with that there's no one fawning over like someone else, and it's like which ruins it. There's not really much like
Right, yeah, you don't need to compare it to the other shows. Compare it to its own show last year. Those two characters, the new ones, Nate and or the Vixen. I
yeah.
think they're a much better fit than Hawkman and Hawkgirl were last season.
Yeah,
Especially Hawkgirl, all that stuff with her and the Atom, and it dragged the show down.
that's see
Yeah,
relationship right there exactly.
yeah, but a bad relationship. You can do relationships, just not that. Again, it was the same soapy crap. It's I've talked about this before, but Hawkgirl was the latest version of the first season Iris and of the Black Canary for the first 2 years of Arrow. Just this the relationship drama drags down the female character. They're the ones that look like an idiot,
Yeah,
and she seemed annoying.
I mean Sarah Lance is like the kind of main female character in that, and she's kind of come into her own. She's like Captain Lance. She's strong. She's not kind of held down by this relationship. She's a strong character. She's probably one of the best ones in it. You know what I mean? Me personally, I like Mick Rory, but like the kind of dynamics and stuff is what Legends does well, and
She is captain now, and that does raise a question for me about Rip Hunter, which I'll get to in a minute. But let's talk about Rip first. He's back.
yeah.
The accent was interesting.
What
Uh,
what did you think of that? I thought
no, I'm not an American. I can't really tell. I
it,
don't know if it's good or not.
it's kind of one. It is kind of. It was resonant for Los Angeles. You know what I mean? If you go to the Midwest, there's kind of like that howdy y'all. There's kind of that,
Right.
and as you go more towards like the East Coast, like Boston, New York, it's kind of like a gruff accent.
I,
Like
I don't know if it was bad, but this is the typical American accent you get an English person doing. But whatever, it's fine. It's just
I
I
thought
thought
it, I thought it was pretty decent because it was like relevant of California, like in like the kind of West Coast, like the American accent's not like so strong. It's kind of like lazy, if you know what I mean. That's why you kind of his was kind of like toned down as opposed to where if you go that way it's a lot stronger. So I mean his accent was good for all intents and purposes. It was like regional. It was like a good regional accent.
his working with George Lucas was funny. I liked the fake out at the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where he's just like clicking it. He's like, where did he get the gun from to think he could just pick it up? And you'd think he would have checked that before. And he puts the outfit on and then think, oh, I've got this gun. I'm not going to check it. I'm just going to run into the heart of battle and appoint it and hope for the best. It's like, dude,
It made for a fun scene though, didn't it?
that was a, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What I will say though is what you said about Sarah now raises my it raises questions for me about his future long term on the show. She is now pretty much solidified as the captain.
Yeah.
So what do you do with him?
Well, I think his main issue for making Firestorm Jax or whatever it's called. He was like the ship like maintainer and stuff like that. He made him learn the ship, so when it comes to the point where like Rip Hunter's in a position where he's like out of the game, then everyone else can kind of pick up the slack and taught. You know what I mean? But like you can have like Sarah Lance and have him coexist because they're like different personalities. Like now, Sarah Lance isn't really like in the first season. She was running around slapping people up, but now she's kind of got this responsibility as captain. She's kind of moved away from that. So I mean, like you saw in like the first scenes, like Rip Hunter, like it was pretty cool as Rip Hunter. You know what I mean? Like doing all this cool running along the ship. It's like no one knows the ship better than him. You can have them coexist and have Black Canary like still be like a strong leader and go around slapping people up and like control the ship as well.
But which one will be captain?
They could just kind of both be, you know what I mean? Being captain like is like he can just fly the ship, you know, be himself and fly the ship, or take it in turns flying the ship. Because like being captain, like you say, who's being captain? It's just a matter of who flies the ship, really.
I wonder. I don't want him off the show, so I don't misunderstand me. But I just wonder now, with their dynamic having been established, will him coming back throw that off? Because Arthur Darvill, I think, took a break to film Broadchurch, the
Yeah,
last season of the David Tennant show. So I think that's where it's gone, and now he's back.
yeah.
Or kind of. He got kidnapped again, didn't he? So
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you go off that, it's like if they were kind of given this mission as Rip Hunter, then he disappeared. It's like if they when they clear this up, if Rip Hunter's not there, that they're gonna have to like it would have to be Gideon telling him what to do. So Gideon had kind of assumed the role as like captain, if you will, because it'd be like, oh yeah, this is going on, time aberration, we have to go to here. Whereas instead of that, it'd be Rip Hunter like leading them. So Sarah Lance being like, yeah, she's captain, she flies the ship, but when they've sorted out all their aberrations and everything's cool, it's like where do you go from there? You need Rip Hunter to pop in and be like, oh yeah, something's going on over here, we have to go investigate, blah blah blah, flies the ship onto there, and then all hell breaks loose and it sets up like the rest of the season. So I think he's still pretty relevant character, you know what I mean? Because you're really gonna take the badass League of Assassins girl and like have her like do a desk job, basically. You know what I mean? Like take her out the field and have her do a desk job.
right, the way I could this might be a bit nerdy, but we are talking about Legend of Tomorrow, so I guess it's fine. The way I guess it will probably work in the end is he will be, if you think about Star Trek, go TNG or even the original, he will be the captain like Kirk or Picard, and she will be Spock, who
Yeah,
will go down on missions with the team and do the thing.
yeah. Like first officer.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like trust me, they can both like coexist. Now, if we move from there and we move on to the kind of as we are saying, like the dynamic between people, what's good is like the transition from character. Like Mick Rory came in, is like Heatwave is like not so clever, if you know what I mean, and like they made him Kronos. They've moved him from there. They've moved him from not really caring about anyone of the team, and they've kind of transitioned him to be like not so much a good guy because he's like morally out. You know, if they're stuck in a room and it's like, oh, I don't know, we need to kill this guy, blah blah blah, to save the future, and everyone's standing around scratching their heads, he'd just come in and pop them. You know what I mean? So I mean that's his kind of, you can have that as his kind of differentiation from everyone else on the team. That moral
Sure,
ambigu.
he's the douchey anti-hero who would do the not so heroic things, like like Wolverine or something on
Yeah,
this. He's the one who will do the bad stuff. They worked out. I can only assume in their thing with Captain Cold,
yeah,
uh, he's got to come back as a member of the
it,
Legion of Doom or something,
yeah,
hasn't
he
he?
is. It,
Right? Yeah.
yeah. But I think um, they'll bring him back. They'll find a way to bring him back anyway. Whether like with the Spear of Destiny, they're going on about he can rewrite reality. Are you telling me that like if like, so I think they're using that like Flashpoint did for all the other shows, like changing Sarah from a girl to a boy. I think literally they're going to get the Spear of Destiny, and against everyone else's wishes, Sarah's going to grab it and bring back Laurel, and then he'll probably grab it and bring back Captain Cold.
You see, I don't think they will. I think, I don't think Laurel will ever come back. B, not the Laurel that we remember anyway. B, I think for me, if they have Sarah do that, it will be a betrayal of where they've taken the character now. I think to me, she's grown out of that, out of the need to be selfish and do that stupid thing. It's something. Not, I don't fault the Flash for this at all. I think it makes it an interesting show, but I think she's grown in a way that Barry Allen so far hasn't.
Yeah.
Barry Allen was still always given to, oh, I can save my mum. Sarah's kind of grown out of that. I don't think she would bring her back.
See, like Legends of Tomorrow is like a mature show, all in all. Like, everything seems to work. There's not like a bad angle of it. You know what I mean? You've got. We'll go back to my point about Mick Rory, how like is kind of integrating with every kind of member of the team, and is kind of not so like not caring and about himself. Whether that's because like Captain Cold's dipped off and is like had to integrate more, but they can take characters in like any kind of direction, and it's kind of like fine, you know what I mean? It's like there's
Yeah.
not like, oh my god, that this guy's bad 1 minute and next second is all goody goody, you know what I mean? Their transition and character development is literally on point, and so is the chemistry across the team, which is like what they've got solid. Because obviously you had him and Martin Stein figuring out like the thing in his head, the chip in his head that doesn't work, and while he's getting these hallucinations of Captain Cold. So I mean, that's good. I like kind of how they're taking him, like integrating him with the team, but still having the kind of like um, moral ambiguity. So I thought that's good. It's probably like it's like underrated. I think it's like not many people really watch it, but I mean it's a damn solid show. I mean there's only like what about 13 episodes a season, but it's always like solid. It's probably like the second best. If you rank all four, it's probably like the second best under the Flash
Yeah,
easily.
that's all very subjective. I will say I don't know whether it's the best one, but I do think at this moment in time, from what I'm judging it off as one episode, if it's all like this episode, then it's definitely the most solid, as in consistent. Um, I love the fact that they did the trash compactor scene from Star Wars. I
Yeah.
thought that was very funny.
There was a lot of hints. There was a lot of quotes as well on the download. There was like a couple quotes thrown in there, so I thought that was kind of good. If you're gonna do something like George Lucas, you're gonna have some like little nods in there some way. I think it was interesting because how they kind of work as well, because they grab like characters from whatever. I think they had Einstein in one episode and stuff like that. How they grab characters and they kind of they make it decent.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of the Doctor Who thing, isn't it? It's what Doctor Who's been doing for years. Yeah, you go back to a certain period of time and you grab a historical figure from that time.
Or you bump into them and
Yeah.
calamity ensues. So the thing with the end, like I don't know how they're gonna resolve this whole Rip Hunter's lost his memory, and now we don't really know what he's doing, because like they're gonna torture him now, I figure. So where they're gonna go with that, I don't know.
Again, yes, yeah, it's like I say, I do think eventually he'll work his way back onto the ship and he'll do the Star Trek thing. It's just, I do think for now though, they want to work. They want to work their way towards integrating him back into the team. I don't think they want to throw him right back in there, which is why they have him kidnapped, and it gives something the for the legends to work towards. They got to find Rip Hunter.
Yeah. So I mean, not only has he got they've got to get hold of him, but in the time of that, it's like his memory's got to get jogged himself. Because I mean, if he gets himself together and stuff, it shouldn't really be that. Because he's like a commanding character, you know what I mean? As a captain, is like a good leader. So it's like if he like kind of gets himself together, it won't be like, oh, do we trust him? Blah blah blah. There won't be any of that rubbish. It'd just be like, look, you know what I mean? This is how it is. No, like standing on ceremony or like dwelling on stuff. It's like that they do that kind of stuff well. So what would you give the rating as an episode out of 10?
And an 8.5.
8.5. That's a pretty strong number.
I like it.
I'd 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 probably give it an 8, something like that. I mean, it's just like generally most episodes like good.
I think it. Again, I haven't seen all the episodes. I think you have. Of the episodes I've seen, this is by far the best.
Okay. So in that case, is there any other points you'd like to bring up before we close?
One small critical thing. It's more how the scene came out rather than what they were trying to do. It was the scene at the end with Black Canary and Jax. A bit heavy-handed.
Oh yeah.
A bit too. We have to tell the audience to how great she is. Oh, you're the best. You're a great leader. Blah blah blah. It was a bit heavy-handed. I don't mind the scene. Just a bit of a tighter rewrite of the scene. I think I would have liked it a bit more.
Okay.
But other than that, it's the only negative I have for the episode. I thought it was great.
Okay. So in that case, we'll wrap it up. I've been Sam.
I've been Matt.
And we'll see you in the next episode.